Okay, this is what I like to hear. This is what I like to hear. I'm all in. I'm all in on this move. I've been saying I want to see Caitlin Clark train with some new higher level elite training. I want her to get the hell away from Indiana as far as training. I don't want her practicing with Stephanie White. I don't want her working with the Indiana Fever training staff, even though they're getting a new senior advisor and all that. I don't want none of that. I think there's a few things that Caitlin, if she add these few things to her bag, she's definitely unstoppable. Chris Brickley, legendary.
Okay, so here it is. The reports we've all been hearing were recently proven to be true. Known NBA trainer Chris Brickley just dropped a surprise. He has worked with stars like LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Jimmy Butler. The Indiana Fever wouldn't let Caitlin Clark train with them last summer. This isn't just about not working out sometimes. It means that the team didn't give their best player access to top-notch, game-changing training, which could have made her even harder to reach much faster. What kind of person was she, and what kind of growth was lost for the sake of team control? It's a big deal. This shocking discovery tells the whole story of Clark's important summer. It shows a big conflict between how the team wanted to grow players and what the players wanted. And it's caused a huge uproar across the league.
So today we got a really interesting clip from Chris Brickley, who is one of the top trainers in the entire world. And look, he is somebody that has trained a lot of NBA players. Like he's Jimmy Butler is one of his clients. He's like his first client was Carmelo Anthony. He is genuinely one of the top trainers. I will say this though, I don't know how much of a difference individual trainers make.
Another interesting thing is that the fact that he reached out to her shows how good she is as a basketball player. The fact that he supports her changes a lot about what she can do in her work.
Definitely unstoppable. Chris Brickley, legendary NBA trainer working with the likes of Carmelo Anthony. When y'all saw Carmelo Anthony lose all that weight and get in shape, Hoodie Melo, he worked with Carmelo Anthony, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, LeBron James, the best of the best, creme de la creme. He helps add things to your bag that translate to the game. He reached out. He wants to work with Caitlin Clark, and I think she should take full advantage of this and go to New York City and train with Chris Brickley and some of these NBA guys and add some things to her bag. Let's take a look at what he had.
The problem is that Brickley's first offer was very clear. There was untapped promise in Caitlin's game that made him want to work with her. He had loved her for years and had talked about training with her in the past summers, even though she was already great. Brickley truly thought she could reach great heights, saying that with the right changes, she might become impossible to guard. He wasn't just being nice. It was a test for professionals, a chance to hit a new level of excellence. For any player, but especially for a new one. That is a straight, priceless chance to train with the best.
I don't know how much of a difference individual trainers make. They all do the same shit. I think the real difference with these trainers is who you play against. Like I know, I have a friend who was really like he was one of the best players in the American East Conference at D1. I think he was all conference team twice. Like he wasn't this like NBA level guy, but a really good D1 level player. He used to spend his summers with Drew Hanlon, and he would
But there's a catch. The Indiana Fever had a rule that couldn't be changed, which ruined all of our plans for last summer. Brickley said that he would have to go to Indianapolis if they wanted to work together. He respected the team's stand, which said that their young players had to work out at their own practice facility. Caitlin couldn't go to Brickley's fancy New York City base because of this seemingly small problem. That took away the collaboration's most valuable assets and put Brickley in a tough spot, making it impossible for him to fully provide his specialty training.
For him to fully deliver his specialized training.
He said he would love to work with her. And I'm telling you, this is one, he's not the only trainer, but this is one of the trainers that could take Caitlin Clark's game to an entire another level from what it is already at. Let's take a listen.
structure of that specific team.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You just called it.
Sometimes
some teams are like, no,
they've got
you need to be
people.
with me a year for the first 3 years. This is happening with me and Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark finished her rookie season. We've been talking for a few years, and
You worked with Caitlin Clark?
so we were going to work last summer, but
Surprisingly, this restriction had such a big effect on Caitlin that she had to stay in Indiana. Because she was sick, she couldn't use the great tools and competitive setting that Brickley offers at his New York location. It's not just about the nice workout gear. It's about a whole ecosystem of the best teaching. Think of top-notch sparring buddies, cutting-edge analytics, and a coaching team with a lot of different skills. Because of this choice, she wasn't able to work with real NBA players. So she missed out on the intensity and skill growth that can only come from competing directly with the best. That was a huge problem for her growth, plain and simple.
Against these really high-level players, and that's the big difference. It's just who you're up against. It's not that these coaches are going to teach you anything different, it's who you're up against. And somebody who's one of the top skills trainers is going to have really good players to match up with and to get better against. Whether that be male basketball players, it's a big difference than a Keith Porter. No offense to Keith Porter. But obviously, is there any responses? Let's listen to this.
yeah. You just called it.
Sometimes
some teams are like, no,
they've got
you need to be
people.
with me a year for the first 3 years. This is happening with me and Caitlin Clark.
Now let's talk about the Fever's own team that trains them. The difference between this and Brickley's record is big and, well, scary. They talked about their trainer, Keith Porter, and it was made clear that he had hurt his Achilles, which makes you wonder how physically ready he really is. Aaliyah Boston, who was his most famous customer, was made fun of. And the best thing he did was make another person look like they were good at basketball. Even though it's harsh, this comparison shows how different Chris Brickley's worldwide image and track record are from the much less experienced Fever internal trainers. It must make people even more angry about such a big chance lost.
For the first 3 years, this is happening with me and Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark finished her rookie season. We've been talking for a few years, and
You worked with Caitlin Clark?
so we were going to work last summer, but I was gonna have to go to Indianapolis. And I respect it. Like when you're young on your team, you work out at your practice facility.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now this off season,
I love it.
I'm hoping that she'll come to New York and we'll get some work. And
Bro, Caitlin, leave Indiana this summer. You need to take your ass to New York City.
That being said, what did she miss while she was required to be alone? Brickley is an expert at teaching people specialized high-level skills that help them win games. He is focused on developing a great isolation game, which is important for Caitlin to be able to break down defenses without having to depend on constant ball screens, which limits blitzes and double teams. He also works on getting better at finishing near the basket. This place gives Caitlin a lot of room to grow. Imagine if she used James Harden's creative space-building ideas. Brickley showed people how to step back and sidestep. These are the complicated, game-changing tools that turn a celebrity into a force that can't be stopped. Due to the team's strong stand, almost everything was put on hold.
For the first 3 years, this is happening with me and Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark finished her rookie season. We've been talking for a few years, and
You worked with Caitlin Clark?
so we were going to work last summer, but I was gonna have to go to Indianapolis. And I respect it. Like when you're young on your team, you work out at your practice facility.
And the amount of people are like, if he wants to work out with Caitlin Clark, he has to go to Indianapolis. You want, like, realistically, you don't want to be in Indianapolis. You want to be where his base is, so you can get all the facilities, you can get all the benefits of that. That's who you're working at.
But the bigger picture points to a bigger problem. There's a bad management philosophy at work in the Fever. Some people say that the team doesn't think Caitlin Clark is bigger than the school, even though she has had a huge effect on it. This makes me think she really wants to be in charge and doesn't want to accept her special position and the unique needs of a once-in-a-generation talent. The corporation seems more interested in keeping its internal hierarchy in place than in giving her the best tools possible. They might even see any orders from outside sources as a threat to their own power, not as a smart way to protect their most valuable asset.
Caitlin, leave Indiana this summer. You need to take your ass to New York City and put that work in with Chris Brickley. I'm telling you, he's going to help take her game to the next level. Forget working out with Austin Kelly and Stephanie White. What's the dude, the trainer? He cool, black dude, he cool. He tore his Achilles too. Like, how the training staff tearing their Achilles and all types of stuff. I'm cool on all that. Forget all this working out in empty gyms. We need you doing that, and we need 5-on-5 bump. Chris Brickley is gonna have Caitlin Clark. She be in the gym with the best of them.
Listen, the plan, which seemed to be based on the Fever's internal structure, got some good criticism during the offseason before this one. Even though she worked very hard, not having access to a range of top training methods probably held her back in some important ways. Some talks about other trainers say that the fact that she only worked on shooting threes and basic dribbling could mean that she wasn't practicing against the best defenses or getting better at the subtle movements needed for WNBA level isolation play. This restrictive method might have made it harder for her to fully adapt to the league's strict rules.
Let's take away a lot of that. So obviously the Indiana Fever were not letting Caitlin go train in New York last year. Well, the Indiana Fever fucked her up badly last year, so I don't know. All these people that think the organization can do no wrong, like.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now this season, this off season,
I love it.
I'm hoping that she'll come to New York and we'll get some work. And she's the reason why the WNBA's become so big. I would love to work with her.
Yeah.
An amazing talent.
She's
She changed the game.
She has absolutely changed
Yeah,
women's sports.
for sure.
Just
And I love
generally.
competitiveness too.
Oh man, I know.
So yeah, the Indiana Fever did not.
But the real secret sauce of great coaches like Brickley and Drew Hanlon is not just their drills, which can be found anywhere. It's the unmatched chance to practice with and compete against top athletes. One expert says that NBA stars like Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid work with these coaches not only to get better, but also because they are always competing with each other and raising the bar. Top D1 college players also work out with the players, making the practices more like game conditions. Continuous, tough competition with the best players is what really makes a player better. And Caitlin was totally denied this important part.
Is gonna have Caitlin Clark. She be in the gym with the best of the best. I'm telling you, the ISO game that she needs to add, those finishes around the basket that she needs to add, this is where it's at. Get out of Indiana, go to New York and put in that work with Chris Brickley.
She's the reason why the WNBA's ability.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now this season, this off season,
I love it.
I'm hoping that she'll come to New York and we'll get some work. And she's the reason why the WNBA's become so big. I would love to work with her.
Yeah.
An amazing talent. She changed the game.
She has absolutely changed
Yeah.
women.
Take a look at it this way. Bringing a great trainer like Chris Brickley to Indianapolis instead of his home base in New York makes him much less successful. There's more to Brickley's base than just a gym. It has NBA players, specific gear, and a network of training partners all in one place. Moving him to a place that doesn't have as many resources takes away a lot of the benefits, like the chance to play high-level games on the spot and the chance to learn from different teachers' points of view. It turns a great overall training experience into a watered-down localized version, taking away a lot of what makes these top teachers truly transformative for athletes.
Somebody with 60 NBA, 60 NBA clients, including Carmelo Anthony, versus a person whose biggest client is Alyssa Thomas. And his biggest achievement was making Dejanay Carrington look competent at basketball. Now you should Caitlin see this guy once or twice. You should see him extensively. This guy's client list includes LeBron, KD, Melo, and Embiid, and other similar profiles. To be truthful, I don't know who Caitlin trained with last offseason. Don't think it was Keith. Or at least not exclusively, as she shared her offseason program before Keith was hired. But there was some warrant criticism about her offseason approach, trying to get better personally.
There's more to this argument than meets the eye. Some critics have made controversial claims about Caitlin's health and the way the Fever makes them train. This unpopular view came up, which meant that she might have had health problems if she trained with people like Konu McCaffrey and the current Fever staff, as some people thought. Someone was so sure of themselves that they said, "And look what happened. She hurt herself." Whether this claim is true or just a guess, whether this claim is It shows how closely people are looking at the Fever's choices about player development and the possible bad effects of limiting access to the best preparation.
She's the reason why the WNBA has become so big. I would love to work with her.
Yeah.
She's an amazing talent. She changed the game.
She has absolutely changed.
Yeah.
Women's sports.
For sure.
Just
and I love
generally
competitiveness too.
Oh man, I know. She's that's the other piece too, that like it's okay for women to be competitive. You know, like and structure of the
So he knows the greatness of Caitlin Clark already. And that's what I'm saying. He's going to pull the next level out of her. He knows the greatness she already possesses. He already said it. She changed the game herself. She's already changed the game.
But think about what could happen here. Caitlin Clark has the ability to change the world if she is allowed to continue with this high training. As a tribute to Victor Wembanyama's focused, independent growth, which quickly made his game crazy, people are begging her to start her own WNBA training path. If she spent the summer with Brickley and was exposed to NBA-level play, she might come back with a much better attacking repertoire. That would not only make her game better, but it would also shock the whole league, starting a new age of dominance and letting everyone in the WNBA know how good she could be.
A better offseason approach, trying to get better. Personally, I don't think it was a bad idea. Maybe the execution. I think it's a bad idea as a team to try. I think it's a really bad idea as a team to try demand a player stay and do certain things in their growth when they've got to the point where they've gotten to without you. I think there is fault in that. He'll be working with an elite trainer who's had top past players. Maybe the Fever will say no. Maybe the Fever will say no, this will be fire. So he's insinuating the team did not want Caitlin to train away from their facilities. That's correct, and it's so stupid. Well, yeah, she kind of fucked it. Like,
to be honest, Caitlin has a lot of pressure to get better, a fact that was made worse by her rough first season. There are a lot of great athletes in the WNBA, so her college skills alone won't be enough to help her succeed in the long run. She needs to add to her attacking tools, work on her body, and get used to all the physical and strategic challenges of professional play. This offseason isn't just a chance to rest. Now is a very important time for growth, and the choices she makes about her training will have a huge impact on her job for years to come. That means whatever she does next will have a lot at stake. Move.
Last 4 or 5 trainers because they just wanted to shoot threes with them and they just wanted to work on dribble and then different shots be going. So the paint, his big
Jimmy Butler
thing is if I'm making those shots around the paint, then all my other shots are going to be going. So if you actually were to watch a game and he starts the game off and he makes a few shots around the paint, he's going to have a hot night that night. His big thing, I don't know why these.
You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler, James Harden. Come on, man.
It's really cool. With James, we actually have had a relationship for like 6 years. Started working a little bit. Following summer, we worked a little bit more. Once he got to Brooklyn, we were working out every single night. And then he gets to Philly.
There is some good news for the offseason, though. Chris Brickley talked about his renewed hope. He said clearly, I'm hoping now this season, this offseason, I'm hoping that she come to New York and we'll get some work. Please don't take this as a joke. It's a clear sign that the chance is still there, like an open offer. That comment carries a lot of weight, which could mean that the rules that were put in place last year may be loosened, or that Caitlin can now make her own training choices, which could mean that she can get around the rules that the team set earlier.
I think they are bigger than her, more important than her, which is not the case. You gotta know your place. And the FIBA hierarchy goes Caitlin, Herb Simon, Aaliyah Boston, Stephanie White, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Kelly Krause, Cup Amber Cox. Like, you gotta be honest. But yeah.
Things have changed a lot between the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark since last season. Clark has become the most important person in women's basketball after a full season in the WNBA. She has had an undeniable effect on attendance, viewing, and general popularity. With this newfound power and undeniable worth, she might be able to totally challenge the way her organization controls her growth. The balance of power has clearly changed in her favor, which may allow her to make choices that put her long-term growth ahead of strictly following team facility rules. This offseason, if Caitlin Clark chooses to work with Chris Brickley in New York City, it will be for more than just training. It will send a strong message since deeds speak louder than words. This move could mean that she is breaking the quiet of last year's organizational block, claiming her independence and showing that she is committed to reaching her full potential. It would be the start of a new age of player empowerment, a refusal to be limited by rules, and a clear goal to achieve the highest level of basketball excellence possible. Her choice will really show what she wants to happen in the future. This story about Caitlin Clark's off-season training is about a lot more than just her workouts. It shows that in professional sports, player autonomy and management control are fundamentally at odds with each other. For a generational star, being able to choose the best ways to move up should be more important than fighting against their own team. Clark is getting ready for her second WNBA season. The choice she made over the offseason will not only affect her own life, but it will also send a strong message to the whole league about player empowerment, the value of elite development, and how future stars will make their way to legendary status.